But what the former deputy president has raised is the same kind of issue that the current president raised when he was deputy president. That the current administration, whatever deal they have, hao ndio wana benefit, nini, but hapa, whatever they're saying is not true. It's simply a repeat of the same. Where is the truth? Are we purely under the masses of the international environment, or could there be an issue of local influence, probably for commercial interests?
Okay, let me start with the political question, because politics, we usually say, is the master science. It doesn't matter what else we do. All that we do is controlled by politics. You see, the dangers of pronouncing yourself for political expediency is what is now either biting the current administration, because when you create an impression that you can handle some of these things in a more efficient way faced by the same situation, you give people some hope that should something happen, what you think the other person is not doing, you will do. And this is probably what the current president did during that time, and today he's faced. You see, we talk about karma and all those other things, that whatever it is that you're doing today, you are either planting a seed or you are reaping. And so the same thing could also happen to the former deputy president. What he's saying today, tomorrow probably, given the position of power, these things are a cycle, and when that time comes, these clips need not to be to come back to bite you. So what I say is that you ought not to say, especially when you are in a place of leadership, whether you are competing for politics, you must not be seen to say things that you know this is just for political expediency. And so on the same line, I want to say the following. It is true we have issues when it comes to efficiency. In everything can be improved. I've said time and again that G2G, the only thing that G2G cured was the escalation and taming the dollar from the kind of inflation that we were having then. And that is a plus, because it's always good to give the devil his due. But then again, that contract, in my view, ought to have been structured in a way that, because today there's something we call fixed premiums. The fixed premiums are to take care of contracts. The lawyers will tell you that sometimes there are a lot of surges within the market, and sometimes you don't have to keep readjusting the prices depending. And so we have premiums over and above the cost of fuel in a metric ton. And so what this means is that we are supposed to enjoy a certain equilibrium in terms of the benefits that we accrue, or the pricing model that we accrue. So what happens is that because of the premiums, when the product go very low in the global prices, there is a level to which we cannot get. Because
ours will still remain
because the premiums are there, and there will always be a cost. On the other hand, when the prices go very high, the premiums are supposed to sort us up to a certain level. And then from there we take the cost. And so today there's that inconsistency, because if the prices go very low, because if you remember, like three months ago, there's a time you'd go everywhere and you see discounts. The petrol stations, they are offering 5 shillings discount, the prices were quite low. But we were not enjoying the level at which the prices were low elsewhere. There's something else that is an inefficiency in the way we market our products. Today, one of the biggest reasons why the fuel is cheaper in Uganda than it is in Kenya is because they don't control the pump price. When you don't control the pump price, you let the market forces. They control importation. They are importing together. The National Oil Corporation of Uganda is involved in the procurement of that product. But when it comes to selling, they let these companies outcompete each other.
And you said that's a positive for them?
it is a positive for the common person, because when companies outcompete each other, then the benefit accrues to the common person, even if it's 2 shillings or 3 shillings. The other component that makes us more expensive is the taxation margins, because we are doing about between 40 and 50%, and they're doing between 30 and 40%. And that is an advantage to them. Then there comes the question where we compare the prices out there and the prices in here. And I see it is very important that you compare likes for likes, because it is true, US fuel is extremely high now. If the prices in US came here, we will not even be talking about it. But you see, US is not your normal kind of an economy. Kenya imports everything, including toothpicks. So when they are taking a hit on fuel prices, they are getting reprieve from their production system. So it is like, say for instance, today, you have 10 chicken, and he has 1, and he has 5, and I have none. And we are saying we are all going to slaughter 1 chicken. So when the guy has 1, he's crying that once we slaughter me, I have nothing else. And it's very different. You can even say, where's chinja moja, mi hata nitachinja 3. But you see, you are slaughtering 3 chicken out of the abundance of 10. So those other guys are paying high fuel prices out of a certain abundance. But for us, we are paying high fuel prices out of nothing. So we cannot, when we compare the prices with the developed countries, we are not comparing what we call like for likes. We must look at where are we uniquely Kenyan, and how can we manage our economy from where we sit. Because when being a consumer economy in this country, there is a lot of balancing act. I agree and appreciate what the Wakili is talking about, the physical constraints of the government right now. But I'm saying, at this point, you see what usema, in most cases you have heard people say, ati nimefika mwisho. I usually tell people, mwisho ni mbali sana. Mwisho ni mbali. You think you are at the end until another force comes and pushes you to further end. So the government inaweza kuwa inasema wamefika mwisho ya maneuvering at the physical space. But mwisho ni mbali. It depends with the urgency of the matter. And I'm saying this is the urgency of the matter if the policymakers are seeing and are watching what I'm saying.
All right.
If I were at the place of policy, I would look at the importance of maintaining production and making sure that the businesses do not close. Because at the end of the day, the revenue collection will be more dependent on the sustenance of businesses than it will be at the government surviving today.
All right.